Ta-da! So, let's talk, people. So earlier in the day, it started with this bad boy. It's the first one I've ever had. It was darn fresh, bottled on 7/16/14. This is August 2nd here, so it's pretty fresh. Dale Roberts of Craft Beer Central sent me this bottle to try. So, after having that, I didn't know what to have next, man. The truth is, I waited 2 hours to have anything to let my palate kind of, I probably could have ate something or drank some water or something to clear it, but I wanted that to linger as long as possible. But putting something else on top of that would just be unfair. So, decided to just go for broke. I waited 2 hours to have something, now I'm just going to go all in. Double Crooked Tree. I had a bottle sitting in the fridge. Unlike most double IPAs, this is when they do encourage you to age. I had put it in the fridge. I've had it since May, so it doesn't have a terrible amount of age on it, but longer than most IPAs anyway. It is a different animal than most double IPAs because it isn't a double IPA in name. It is a true double IPA, meaning they took the regular IPA and doubled the amount of everything except water, and there you have a big 12% double IPA. Oh, damn. Let's be honest. It is hopped monstrously, but truth be told, 20 years ago, this would just simply have been called a barley wine. Because that's essentially, when you chuck that much malt into a beer to get it up to 12%, you are essentially making a barley wine. Now, you can throw the amount of hops in it and call it a double IPA, which is what they've done here. But, I'm just being honest, man. Yeah, I decided what the hell, it just didn't matter anymore after having that Pliny. And so I poured me a shot of Angel's Envy, which I had chilled, which is quickly warming up because it's very hot out here. So I got a jigger of bourbon at 12% beer. It's over from here, baby. It's done, Tom. I just didn't feel like I could do I've got some beer sent from Dave Coulter from Beer Sampling with Dave, and I've got some more beers from Dale that he had sent. I just felt that after having that, it wasn't fair to do anything else, I've already done a review for this one. You guys know what this is about. So it's not so much about, or doing a video, not necessarily a review, but, it's not so much doing a video specifically for this beer. It's just doing a video and having the beer and the bourbon. And there you go, which is why I chose to go this way rather than pop one of those others. I'll do a couple of them tomorrow. I just didn't feel like it was fair after having this to try to do an accurate video on another beer. Son of a bitch. It was amazing. It was amazing. A friend, beer friend Todd Wren had asked me on a picture, how would I compare this to the Governor, which I really liked when I did the video on. And I wouldn't compare them. I believe they're really two different beers, two different profiles. It depends on what you're going to be looking for. However, if the question was, there's a bottle of this and a can of the Governor, and I can only have one, and it's the last beer I'm ever going to have. Well, the truth is, at this very moment, with this being so fresh on my mind, I'm picking this one. But that's not to say that other beer isn't a fine beer, too, because it is. I feel that the Governor, if memory serves me, is more fruity. The flavor, the fruit profile is much, much larger, but I just like the way this one came together in such a way. And I was getting these just white pepper notes that I thought was just awesome. But anyway, I think both are great beers. I'm not going to say one is better than the other, because I don't like the word better. I think the word better implies quality. I think both are extremely quality beers. It's going to come down to little minute taste preferences that each individual likes, to which one you're going to like over the other one. Again, I couldn't even, you can't compare a beer like this to those, because it is a completely different animal. It is hugely malted, it is hugely hopped, but because there's so much malt in it, you know, it doesn't feel as big on the hop end as those other two beers that I'd mentioned. Because the malt is so extreme here. But this is definitely a fine beer. It's actually a beer probably better suited for the fall. Probably going to wish I'd have saved it. But at this point, I just need to, you know, if you can't cleanse your palate completely, you just have to whack it completely out of shape after a beer like that. And that's what I've decided to do here. Just pop this open, you know, have this and a shot of bourbon and say, it's over, baby. Just kill the palate altogether at this point. I do like this bourbon, though. I gotta tell you, this it's Angel's Envy, a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in port wine barrels. Now, this was a special edition bottle I bought at Lucas Liquors in the Kansas City area. It's very nice. I have noticed, though, I've drank it warm, I've drank it chilled, I've drank it on the rocks, and what I've noticed here, I started with this one somewhat chilled, is that the colder you get this, the more sugars come out. So if you like it to feel sweeter, to, you know, get it colder first, do it chilled. And, you know, some will do a shot. I think I'm not a fan of the shot. That just serves to get you drunk quick and you miss a lot of minute details in the flavor. But because this is finished in port wine barrels, I not only get the typical characteristics that I get from a fine bourbon, which is, I mean, those sugars, generally caramel, vanilla, and then whatever else, that charred white oak for sure. But because of the port wine, it also imparts some other flavors here. Here I'm also getting some dark fruit, like plum specifically. It is a very fine bourbon indeed, and I'm sure after having a jigger of that and this 12-ounce badass boy, it's over, baby. Tom ain't getting shit down there at the day. Good night, good night, good night. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I really had no idea where to go after the Pliny, to be 100% honest with you. You know, it was over, man. There was nowhere to go. I could, you know, I joked with a friend that I was going to go to the store, get a bottle of Old English 800 and pound it and call it a day. Yeah, because, I mean, you can't, I didn't want to drink a good beer after that because I don't think I would have been doing it justice at that point. So I chose, rather than to go that crazy ass way, I decided to go this direction and just whack the palate clear out of balance so nothing else matters anymore. So, I've talked probably enough. Yeah, you know what? If you're asking me, I do recommend buying this, the Dark Horse. It is a fine beer, but you have to look at it differently than a beer like this or the Gubna. It isn't a completely different animal. You really can't compare it because it isn't the same thing. You know, it's not trying to accomplish the same thing. You can't look at it the same way. So you go, I'm down to Beer Whisperer. It's over, baby. I'm gone, daddy. Gone, baby. It's over, man.